Leviticus chapter 4. And the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Speak to the sons of Israel, saying, If a soul should sin unintentionally from all of the orders of the Lord, of which things he must not be doing, and shall do any one of them, if then the anointed chief priest should sin to cause the people to sin, then he shall bring for his sin of which he sinned an unblemished calf from out of the oxen to the Lord for the sin. And he shall bring the calf by the door of the tent of the testimony before the Lord. And he shall place his hand upon the head of the calf before the Lord, and he shall slay the calf in the presence of the Lord. And the anointed priest, having perfected the hands, taking from the blood of the calf, even shall carry it into the tent of the testimony. And the priest shall dip the finger into the blood, and shall sprinkle on from the blood 7 times with the finger before the Lord at the holy veil. And the priest shall put of the blood of the calf upon the horns of the altar of incense of the composition before the Lord, which is in the tent of the testimony. And he shall pour all the blood of the calf by the base of the altar of the yield offering, which is by the doors of the tent of the testimony. And all the fat of the calf of the sin offering, even he shall remove from it the fat covering up the entrails, and all the fat upon the entrails, and the 2 kidneys, and the fat upon them by the thighs, and the lobe upon the liver, with the kidneys, he shall remove it, in which manner he removes from the calf of the sacrifice of the deliverance offering. And the priest shall offer upon the altar of the yield offering even the skin of the calf, and all of its flesh, with the head, and the extremities, and the belly, and the dung. And they shall bring forth the entire calf outside the camp into a clean place, where they shall pour out the ashes, and they shall incinerate it upon wood with fire. It shall be burnt upon the outpouring of the ashes. And if all the congregation of Israel should not know, it being unintentionally done, and the thing should be unaware from the eyes of the congregation, and they should do one trespass from all of the commandments of the Lord, which should not be done, and they should trespass, and the sin should be made known to them, which they sinned by it, then the congregation shall bring a calf from out of the oxen, unblemished, for the sin offering, and it shall bring it by the doors of the tent of the testimony. And the elders of the congregation shall place their hands upon the head of the calf before the Lord, and they shall slay the calf before the Lord. And the anointed priest shall carry some of the blood of the calf into the tent of the testimony. And the priest shall dip his finger into the blood of the calf, and shall sprinkle it 7 times before the Lord in front of the holy veil. And some of the blood the priest shall place upon the horns of the altar of the incenses of the composition, which is before the Lord, which is in the tent of the testimony. And he shall pour out all the blood before the base of the altar of the yield offering, being before the door of the tent of the testimony. And he shall remove all of its fat from it, and shall offer it upon the altar. And he shall offer the calf, in which manner he did the calf for the sin offering, so it shall be done. And the priest shall atone for them, and the sin shall be forgiven them. And they shall bring forth the complete calf outside the camp, and they shall incinerate the calf in which manner they incinerated the calf formerly. It is a sin offering for the congregation. And if the ruler should sin, and should commit one trespass of all of the commandments of the Lord his God, which he should not do, unintentionally, and he should sin and should trespass, and the sin by which he sinned by it should be known to him, then he shall bring his gift offering of a young he-goat from the goats, a male unblemished. And he shall place his hand upon the head of the young he-goat, and they shall slay it in the place of which they slay the whole burnt offerings before the Lord. It is a sin offering. And the priest shall place some of the blood of the one of the sin offering with the finger upon the horns of the altar of the whole burnt offerings, and shall pour out all of its blood by the base of the altar of the whole burnt offerings. And he shall offer all of its fat upon the altar, as the fat sacrifice of deliverance. And the priest shall atone for him of his sin, and it shall be forgiven him. And if one soul should sin unintentionally from out of the people of the land, in the committing one trespass from all of the commandments of the Lord, which should not be done, and he should trespass, and the sin should be made known to him, which he sinned by it, then he shall bring the gift offering. He shall offer an unblemished female yearling of the goats for the sin which he sinned. And he shall place his hand upon the head of his sin offering, and they shall slay the yearling of the sin offering in the place where they slay the whole burnt offerings. And the priest shall take some of its blood with his finger, and shall put it upon the horns of the altar of the whole burnt offerings. And all of its blood he shall pour out by the base of the altar. And all the fat he shall remove in which manner he removed the fat from the sacrifice of deliverance offering. And the priest shall offer it upon the altar for a scent of pleasant aroma to the Lord. And the priest shall atone for him, and it shall be forgiven him. And if he should bring a sheep for his gift for the sin offering, he shall bring an unblemished female for it. And he shall place his hand upon the head of the one for the sin offering. And they shall slay it for a sin offering in the place of which they slay the whole burnt offerings. And the priest, taking some of the blood of the sin offering with his finger, he shall place it upon the horns of the altar of the whole offering. And all of its blood he shall pour out by the base of the altar of the whole burnt offering. And all of its fat he shall remove, in which manner the fat of the sheep from the sacrifice of deliverance offering was removed. And the priest shall place it upon the altar, upon the whole burnt offerings of the Lord. And the priest shall atone for him for the sin of which he sinned, and it shall be forgiven him.